Several key states went to the polls on Tuesday to set the slate for some very important general election matchups on November the 8th. In Michigan, Tudor Dixon came out on top of a crowded field for the Republican nomination to take on Gretchen Whitmer in November. And for Tudor Dixon, a bit of an upstart, to say the least, a first-time political candidate. First-time political candidate is Tudor Dixon. Used to be my co-host here on America's Voice Live on this network. The last poll put forth by Michigan News Source came out Monday evening on the eve of the primary, had her with 40.6% support. Currently with 77% of the vote in, she's at 40.5%. Kevin Rinke in second place with 21.9%. So Trafalgar once again comes through and strikes. That's a big story out of Michigan. We're going to have some comments from Tudor here in a moment because I did have the opportunity to interview her one-on-one last night. You're going to want to hear part of that as I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, with her team, with her supporters, who are, to say the least, thrilled with the outcome. I do want to shift to the 3rd District Republican primary in Michigan. The incumbent Republican, Peter Meijer, whose first vote was to impeach Donald Trump. His first vote in Congress, January of 2021, was to impeach Donald Trump. He loses. He loses to conservative John Gibbs, who is endorsed by President Donald Trump. That race has been called. John Gibbs bringing in just shy of 52% of the vote. Peter Meijer, 48% of the vote. He's out. He is out. And the other big primary in Michigan, Haley Stevens and 11, both incumbent Democrats. Haley Stevens wins handily in that race and will face Mark Ambrose in the general election. So that is the story in Michigan. In Missouri, a closely watched, hotly contested Senate seat that everybody's been taking a look at. Had the Erics. As you recall, Donald Trump came out and endorsed Eric, but he didn't say which one. Eric Greitens needed that endorsement, but even the endorsement, I don't believe, would have helped. In the end, Eric Schmidt, the current attorney general in the state of Missouri, picks up 45.7% of the vote. Almost 50% of the vote goes to Eric Schmidt, the current attorney general. Josh Hawley, the former attorney general, already a United States senator in the state of Missouri, so that was a big race. Eric Greitens falls away to less than 19% of the vote. Eric Greitens had a series of challenges as a candidate. He had been governor for 16 months when he resigned because of allegations of sexual abuse and a whole lot of other tawdry things that came forward. A lot of those were proven to be false, and a lot of people went to jail who had ginned up the stories about Eric Greitens. But in the end, some of the stories were true. It was enough to keep him out of the winner's circle. Vicky Hartzler, a state lawmaker, finished second, but Eric Schmidt will be going on to the general election in Missouri. Now, Arizona, another huge state with a lot in the balance. And the Republican primary for governor, hotly contested. Kari Lake, the Trump-endorsed candidate. 46.1% of the vote right now, 290,000 votes, leading Karen Taylor Robson, who has 44.6% of the vote. And the reason this is so critical, Karen Taylor Robson was endorsed by Mike Pence and others inside what people would call rhino circles or traditional Republican circles. Kari Lake is a firebrand of sorts who says she will shut the border, declare a state of emergency in Arizona, and shut the border and finish the wall if she gets elected. And in response to what's happening at the border, that is a big call by her as well. Now, this race has not been called by anybody yet. Still too close. Taylor Robson did well in Maricopa County and the areas around Phoenix. Everywhere else around the state, it was Kari Lake who came out on top. La Paz County and Graham County and Apache County and Cochise County. All of those places favored Kari Lake by Well, some places very close. I mean, the total separation now is about 9,000 votes. But there you have some of the big races we've been looking at around the country. Let me see here. We'll see if there's anything else I need to see here. Patty Murray, of course, wins easily in the state of Washington. She's the Democrat. She wins her open primary, which means she'll face Tiffany Smiley, the Republican. Patty Murray picked up 54% of the vote. Tiffany Smiley, 32% of the vote. So I wouldn't expect a lot of that to change. But what's interesting is the entire state supports Smiley, except for places like Seattle, Vancouver, and Spokane. So, I mean, that's the way these things often go. And then a big, really big vote the nation was watching in the state of Kansas. Kansas rejected a constitutional amendment that would have removed the state-level protection to an abortion. The point being, abortion rights advocates won big in Kansas yesterday. Won big. And as a result, the vote stands a major win for abortion rights advocates, preserving access in a red state to the procedure that is banned or severely restricted in much of the region, including its states on either side, Missouri and Oklahoma. We'll have more on that. That's a big story. $12 million were poured into the 20-month campaign. The coalition against the amendment won over voters in the red state with messaging that appealed to libertarian sensibilities, warning people about government control over private health care decisions and future bans on abortion as well. What will Kansas come down with? Will they have restrictions of some sort? We're going to find out. I don't believe this is and you guys in Kansas, you're going to have to tell me a little bit about this as far as how far this goes. How far this goes. Will the pro-life candidates pay a price? Not necessarily. You have to find a place to accommodate all of the people that are voting. All of the people that are voting. You have to find a place to accommodate all of that. And so we'll keep an eye on where that ends up. When we come back, comments from Tudor Dixon from the podium during her victory speech. We're going to have that, plus other stories that are going on today, so don't go anywhere. It is the Steve Gruber Show, bright and early. Too early, frankly, but we'll keep going. I'll be right back.